Hi golfers, Nick here from GOLFTEC Singapore. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. Following on from last week, we're going to continue with GOLFTEC's Swing Tru Motion Study. Last week, we took a look at the hip sway. This week, we're going to take a look at the shoulder tilt, and it's quite a key move in the golf swing. We're going to look at the shoulder tilt at the top of the backswing, also known as P4. So just to give you guys a little bit of an idea how these sensors work. So as I explained last week, we have one sensor on the back of the shoulders, we've got one on the back of the hip. Last week we were looking at the one on the back of the hip, today we're looking at the one here on the back of the shoulders. So I'm just going to explain to you first of all how these sensors work and how they calculate the movement we're going to look at today. So I'm just going to draw my golfer from face on. Talked about this last week. So there's my swing center, there's my grid, ball position, draw built in, there's my target. So we've got one sensor which is on the back of the shoulder here. This is P1, this is when we set up to the golf ball. So we're going to look at how this sensor works. So at this point, roughly, we're going to see something around about 11 degrees of a right tilt. So as I set up to the ball, this sensor is going to be slightly tilted away. So that's kind of like my spine angle. Now when we're measuring this shoulder sensor, we're going to look at it from 90 degrees to the shoulder turn. So that's the setup at P1. What happens at P4? So P4, we're going to look at this from down the line. Like I said to you, our golfer, so this is our golfer set up down the line, just draw the grid again. So we're going to look at how the head moves, so we're going to box the head in. This is going to be quite important. So we can see from here we're bent over roughly say 40 degrees, and that's going to be about where the average tour player is going to be. Now in the backswing, we're going to look at this sensor at a 90-degree angle to our shoulder turn. So as we swing back, our shoulders turn roughly 90 degrees. So when you look at the camera line from down the line, that's pretty much looking at a right angle to the sensor. So that sensor, or the shoulder tilt, should be kind of similar to that angle. It's going to be, as you can see, their Tour Pro is like 36 degrees. So we should be tilted over 36 degrees as we look at it at a right angle to a shoulder turn. Now, you can see the diagram on the screen here. Sort of 31 plus handicappers, they don't tilt their shoulders enough. And what tends to happen is when you do this in red, so you get a red number, if the shoulders don't tilt enough and they're more level to the ground, this head will start to pop out the box. So I'm going to hit two swings. I'm going to do one where I try and keep my normal sort of side tilt, try and keep my inclination to the ground. Then I'm going to do one with less side tilt, see what happens to the head, see what happens to the contact, see what happens to that ball flight. So I'm going to hit two shots here. So I'm going to try and get the shoulder tilt on the first one close to where a tour player would be, which is roughly about there 35, 36 degrees. Now a 31 handicapper, their shoulders are going to turn more level to the ground. So more like that. That's like 22. Yeah, so that feels like I'm turning my shoulders like level like this, but I'm going to try and turn the first one normally, so that should be the shoulder moving downwards, and the second one the shoulder's going to move across, the shoulder's going to turn more level, and that'll probably go red. So let's try and do a green number first, so shoulder down. Okay, struck that pretty good. So it's kind of like my normal golf swing. We're going to take a look at the motion measurements in a second. You saw the ball flight there, pretty straight, just finished just to the left of the line. Let's take a look at that ball data first of all. So first shot there with my sort of normal golf swing, club head speed 96, ball speed 125. Swing path was 3.6 degrees from in to out and 3.6 degrees downwards, hit it pretty good. Ball went pretty straight, carried 173 with a 7-iron. Not a bad shot, the draw was built in. Let's see what happens now when I try and turn the shoulders more level to the ground. Okay, this has proven a lot more challenging, this swing. Been doing a little bit of practice and trying to turn these shoulders like level to the ground is really difficult. Sort of pulling my head away, can't really see the ball. I've been mishitting a lot of shots, so let's see what I can do on video here. So looking for sort of zero side tilt, that's the feel. Okay, a bit thin, pulled it a little bit. So a little bit thin, it'd be interesting to see the motion measurement numbers on there, but first of all taking a look at the ball data on that second shot. So club head speed dropped to 92, so it dropped like 4 miles an hour, and the angle tack went upwards. The path was still into out, but the angle tack was upwards, really interesting. So let's sit down now and take a look at those motion measurement numbers. So you see me hit a couple of shots there on GC2. So the first one was sort of a normal golf swing, where I tried to swing the club like a tour player. Now the second one, I tried to move my shoulders like a 30 handicapper, and you saw the difference in the ball flight. The first one, nice little draw, hit downwards 3.6 degrees. Now, when I tried to turn my shoulders more level to the ground, like the 30 handicapper, you saw it actually hit up on the ball. So on a mat here, you can get away with it. Out on the golf course, you're not going to. Let's take a look at the swing. First of all, we talked about the shoulder tilt at P1, which is set up. That's basically this angle here in the shoulders. So kind of similar. I tried to swing these as best I could, but just with the different movements. So just wanted to show you that position from the front. So that's what we're looking at when we look at the shoulder tilt being to the right. And in the course of the swing, we've talked a lot about this before, as the player extends out the forward bend, which we're going to talk about in other videos. But today we're just going to talk about the shoulder tilt and how that affects the inclination to the ground. Let's switch the camera around to down the line. So I'm going to leave the shoulder tilt numbers on the screen. I'm just going to box the head in. Just want to show you guys how the head movement is affected by the shoulder tilt. So on the left there, this is my first swing. You can see how that head stayed like perfectly in the box. And that's my shoulders. We're looking at that now from a 90-degree angle. Those shoulders have actually turned at 40 degrees. Tour players average is about 36, but notice how it's gone green. That means it's within the range of what the best players do. On the right here, it's gone red, and now it's 26 degrees. We looked at that chart earlier. 25 degrees is the average shoulder tilt with the 30 plus handicappers. Notice how much that head has moved upwards first of all and away from that line. So it's moved off of the wall. When you're playing golf, you almost want to feel that there is a wall. So I'm going to change the colour here. So you almost want to feel there's a wall there and your head is staying against it. You can see I've moved way away from that. And that's why the contact was inconsistent. That's why I didn't hit down on it enough. Even though I've turned, there's not an issue with my turn. I've actually turned more with this picture on the right, but it's not about how much you turn, it's about how well you do it and how you keep that inclination to the ground. So there you have it, golfers, to hit the ball consistently with the correct angle of attack and utilize your power and control of the low point. You've got to keep your inclination to the ground. Try and work on that shoulder tilt. Things you can practice at home is putting your head up against the wall or in a doorway and just practice trying to swing, trying to keep that head steady. You saw on the video there, on that second swing, when I didn't turn my shoulders on the correct angle, I turned them more level to the ground. You see how much that head pulls away. So a lot of the time we're talking to golfers in the bays here, trying to help them with their swing. We're always saying to move that left shoulder down in the backswing. It's key for good ball striking. So golfers, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, post them in the box below. I'll try and get back to you. In the meantime, if you don't already, please follow me on other social media platforms. And we'll see you again next week when we're doing another Swing Tru Motion Study from GOLFTEC.